Hello, and welcome to our webinar, Promising Picture Books. I'm Kelly Ferreira, Associate Editor for Books for Youth at Booklist. Before we begin, I'd like to go over some technical details. Links to today's slide presentation and title list were included in the reminder email you received from Zoom 1 hour ago. To download them, please open that email, scroll to the bottom, and click on the links located there. You can also download the slides and title list by typing the URLs on this screen into your web browser. If you have any trouble accessing these materials, please contact us at webinars@booklistonline.com. As a note, we are aware that the slide preview is not showing correctly. However, they are still viewable via download, so please try that for access, and we're sorry for any inconvenience. The audience is in listen-only mode, but we welcome any questions you may have. On the bottom of your screen is a toolbar with a button for Q&A. If you have a question or need technical assistance, simply click Q&A and type your message into the box that appears. We will do our best to respond to all tech-related questions, and we'll pass along all other questions to today's panelists so they can follow up with you after the webinar. Booklist offers closed captioning on all webinars. To enable or disable captions on your screen, please look for and click the captions icon on the toolbar mentioned earlier. From there, you can select Show or Hide Captions from the menu that appears. If you choose to enable subtitles, you can adjust the size of the captions at any time by selecting Caption Settings. And finally, Booklist expects all participants to maintain an atmosphere of respect and fairness. Anyone who violates this standard of behavior, including engaging in any form of harassment, may, at the discretion of the organizers, be immediately removed. Today, we have the pleasure from hearing from Sandra Sutter, owner and publisher at Gnome Road Publishing, Golda Roddenmaker, library sales and marketing director at WW Norton and Company, Casey Griffin, senior marketing manager at Phoenix International Publications, and Colette Perry, Marketing Design Associate at Charlesbridge. First, we'll hear from Sandra Sutter. Sandra is the owner and publisher at Gnome Road Publishing, aka Top Gnome. A former attorney, counselor, and author, she has found her way to making great books with great people. She enjoys bringing together talented creatives to produce books that kids of all walks of life can find engaging, informative, and beautiful. The key concept at Gnome Road is rereadability. Sandra wears many hats at Gnome Road and currently heads their marketing and content development efforts. She's also a mom and chauffeur to two curious kids, a crazy cat lady, and a fan of kind people. Thanks for joining us, Sandra.
Thank you, Kelly. And thank you everyone for being here today. We're excited to be part of another one of Booklist's picture book showcases and to share information about Gnome Road Publishing and what we do here. And to start out, I'm going to move ahead just a little bit to the fall. And we want to take a few minutes to introduce you to some special guests who are here with us today. The creators of Dexter, the Stand-Up Dog, which releases September 16th, are here to share more about Dexter's amazing story and to let you see Dexter for yourself. Just a quick summary. When a tragic accident leaves Dexter without the use of his front legs, he proves he can run and play as much as he did before, on 2 paws rather than 4. This inspirational true story shows us the contagious power of hope, resilience, and determination. Joining us today are co-author and pet parent Kinty Pasek, along with Dexter, all the way from Ouray, Colorado, and co-author and illustrator Bonnie Kelso in Las Vegas. Welcome, Bonnie, Kinty, and Dexter.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. We're good. Thanks for
Good.
joining us. And I'm going to start with Kinty because I'd like you to tell us a little bit about your journey with Dexter.
Well, we did get Dexter as a 4-legged puppy, and he had an accident. And so that's this beautiful story that Bonnie ended up writing into all of this. Dexter's journey started really on the social media platform right during the COVID world. And he was just our family pet, and he has inspired, he has brought tears, he has brought inspiration and just life into our world. He does walk up on 2 legs. He has a treat here. Come here, Dex. Here he is. He does walk upright. You gotta say hi to everyone. He's a Brittany Spaniel. He's now 10. The accident happened when he was just turning a year old. And he still walks around all the time on two legs. He chooses and he chooses it himself because it's really his fastest way of going. And he's an amazing, super fun dog who has inspired many, including myself.
Yeah, I remember the day you showed us some of the fan mail that you get for Dexter. I can't believe how much it changed your life as much as so many other people too. What first made you think about taking Dexter's story into a picture book format?
Once Dexter got kind of semi-famous, he had about 10,000 followers online, and I thought that was amazing. I went live on TikTok and I was asked for a book about him. Immediately, my fans have been asking forever to get a picture book about his story so that they can share it for years to come with their grandkids, with, elementary schools. It's been an amazing journey. And it's always been there in the back of my head since 2020 to be able to do this. So we're super proud that we're able to provide that and that Bonnie worked with us. It's been an amazing journey for sure.
Well, I'm so glad to be a part of it too. I got lucky here at Gnome Road Publishing. So I want to move on with Bonnie Kelso. She is the co-creator on this book and the illustrator creator here. So Bonnie, what made you decide to join on this project?
Well, it's no surprise if you see some of my past work. I love animals. I'm a huge animal lover. From the tiny sea slugs to entire herds of baby goats wearing sweaters. I love them all. And Dexter's story even inspired me to adopt my dog that I have now. And that just shows you the kind of positive influence that Dexter has on people.
And as the illustrator, I mean, obviously all books have challenges when you're illustrating, but what was something particularly challenging on this project?
Well, Dexter comes from a really large family. So the challenge was to represent every member of the family authentically and consistently, including Dexter.
Yeah, and you did such an amazing job.
Oh, thanks. Good.
It's so cute in real life, but the picture book shows it all too. He's so adorable. And since you're the illustrator too, I get to ask you, what's your favorite spread in this book?
Well, I happen to have the book here, and I wanted to show this spread that kind of goes at the end. But as you can see, Dexter meets all kinds of people, from school children to celebrities, and everywhere he goes, he spreads sunshine. That's my favorite.
I love that spread too, but not my favorite. I've got another one. I think we all do. And what do you want readers to take away from this story, Bonnie?
Mostly that any challenge can be faced one Dexter step at a time.
Yeah. How about you, Kinty? Anything you want to add there?
I think Dexter really shows us that we put, there he goes. That's what Dexter says, that anything is possible. We put these things in boxes so much. We put our life in boxes. We have kids, what do you want to do in life? And Dexter says it doesn't matter. Whoever thought a dog could walk upright, let alone run upright? And he just says, go for it. If you want to do something, go do it. Take the time to go do it because nothing's impossible.
And that touches on my favorite spread in the book when we show what happens there in his life. So everyone else will get to get the book so you can see what happens. I'm going to let you all go. Kinty, Bonnie and Dexter, thanks for joining us. He's got a really amazing story that I think will resonate with readers, and people of all ages are really going to love reading his story. And you can also follow Dexter, Dexter Dog Ore. So he's easy to find if you want to see some of the things that he's up to. But it's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
All right. I am going to take myself off video while I talk about the rest of our books coming out this spring. So you all just met Bonnie Kelso. She's actually the author illustrator of Sleepy Sea, which just published today, so happy book birthday to Bonnie. This is the second in her childhood milestone series at Gnome Road. You explore the weird and wonderful world of sea animal sleep habits through the eyes of a young child who's having trouble sleeping in a bed of her own. You get to learn which creatures sleep with one eye open, upside down, and completely alone. And it shows that anyone who's struggling with sleep really can, that they're not alone in that, and they can conquer that eventually. So key concepts: sleep habits, sea creatures, STEM learning, and activities of daily living. It also just received a beautiful review yesterday, so I didn't have time to put it in the slide. But we'll go on to the next one. This is Ready to Smile Again. This is by Katie Lee Reinert and illustrated by Sarah Aziz. When Dexter the chipmunk's home is destroyed and his belongings scattered, he comes up with a perfect plan: stuff his most treasured possessions into his cheeks for safekeeping. But his plan has one major flaw. Dexter can't smile anymore, not with all the stuff in his mouth. He can't thank any of his friends for their gifts, their help, or their kindness either. One day, Dexter can't take it anymore, and he finally tries to talk, with hilarious but possibly disastrous results. This is really great for the younger crowd to talk about how to handle difficult transitions and sudden times of loss for upheaval. Kids who've been uprooted or just stuffed things down inside, it gives them hope for better times and some ideas on what they can do to work through that. Next up, Torrible Puns, a collection of punny poems by Trisha Torrible. Yes, that is really her name. And it's illustrated by Robert Dunn. It's a clever mix of poetry and puns featuring everything from animals and beloved nursery rhyme characters to outer space and favorite sports. Each poem has at least one word or phrase with a double meaning, making children and adults laugh out loud while also providing a fun lesson on homonyms. It's a poetry book, but it's filled with humor, language arts, animals, everything. It has a lot of wonderful reviews coming out and just great for kids with a grown-worthy sense of humor. Okay, Kai Poche, Minnie's Perfect Kite. This is by Suhasini Gupta and illustrated by Devika Oza. It's Makar Sankranti, the Indian festival of kites, and Minnie wants to join in the fun, but her older brother insists that flying kites is not for little girls. Using her craft making skills, Minnie constructs her own not-so-perfect kite and learns to fly it with her brother's help. But during Sankranti, it's fair game to cut another's kite string, yell Kai Poche, meaning I've cut the kite, and keep it as your own. When a red kite comes along and causes a catastrophe, Minnie decides it's time to challenge the red kite to a battle in the sky. In the end, she discovers that her not-so-perfect kite is truly perfect for her. Obviously, key concepts: holidays, crafts, multicultural, STEM, siblings, and social and emotional learning. Really great addition for the spring as kids are rolling out their kite making and kite flying skills. Next up, I Rock My Hair, Pretty and Protected by the Crown Act by author-illustrator Angel Tate. This is actually her debut as an author-illustrator. Sometimes it's hard to stand out when others have yet to create space for individual differences, but with the encouragement and support of family, friends, and the community, one girl discovers the joy of rocking her hair in twist outs, braids, ribbons, and more, told in a catchy lyrical voice and with engaging pictures and back matter about the Crown Act. This heartwarming story weaves together themes of confidence, individual expression, and learning how to advocate for yourself and others. We're seeing lots of love for this story, and we really can't wait for it to go out to the shelves next month, so it's coming up in April. All right, next up. Masterworks by author-illustrator Angela C. Hawkins. When young mice Cosette and Pepin join their grandmère to visit a mouse-sized museum, they cannot help but notice details, ask questions, and think creatively. As they move from gallery to gallery featuring the masterworks of famous master artists, their senses are awakened to spark their imaginations. From the dribble of milk splashing out of a pail to the pitter-pat of toddling feet on a stone floor, Cosette and Pepin are inspired to create their own masterpieces, using items and events found in their everyday lives, including a hunk of delicious cheese. Key concepts here: it's just a basic introduction to art history and appreciation, museums, creativity, and of course, mice. And Angela has hidden 2 little mice in each of the paintings that you see in the book, as well as the 2 mice that go through the museum together. Really perfect for libraries, art centers, and classrooms with young readers, and those that really love finding those hidden mice in the pictures. All right, next. Here we go. Quick look at our fall lineup, which we've got Dexter leading the way. We have All Milk, Hazel and Mabel, 2 Hearts Apart, Sidewalk Chalk, and How to Hatch a Writer, which is a follow-up to How to Hatch a Reader. Each of these books will have their own Gnome logo to match the book on its copyright page, like the ones you saw in this presentation. And if you missed that, make sure to catch the replay, look through the slides to find each one, or better yet, just collect all the books and you'll find all the gnomes and those. And then finally, our last slide is just a thank you. You can follow us by subscribing to our newsletter on our website, Instagram, X, TikTok. We have a YouTube channel. We can watch book cover reveals and book trailers. Orders obviously can be placed with us on our website or directly through our distributor, Baker & Taylor Publisher Services, or any of your usual suppliers. And we also offer free downloadable resources, educator resources guide on our website, and teachingbooks.net. Thank you all.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sandra. Next, we will hear from Golda Rademacher. Golda started as a sales assistant at Norton, and she's now the library sales and marketing director, which seems appropriate since both of her parents were librarians. You can find her on Instagram and Blue Sky at WW Norton Library. Thanks for being here today, Golda.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you everybody for tuning in today. I have some beautiful picture books that I'm really excited to tell you about. First, we have just a reminder of a few titles that are available now, including In Praise of Mystery by Ada Limon and Peter Cease, which is available in English and Spanish. Mural Island by Katie Yamasaki was just published last week. In this book, young Kenji loves drawing so much that they can't resist drawing all over the place, even on the walls, their siblings, toilet paper, and the lunchroom tables at school. One of the teachers tells Kenji about a place where they can draw all they want, and Kenji learns about the joy and impermanence of community art and street art. Katie Yamasaki was inspired by her experiences making murals and by the beauty of making art that becomes part of the ongoing story of a place, even if the art doesn't last forever. And if any of you are listening from Queens, New York, the mural island in the book might remind you of the old 5 Points. We're also releasing 3 of Katie's picture books in paperback. These are all great books for schools and libraries, and they tackle topics such as gentrification, incarcerated parents, spending time with loved ones, and remembering those who are not with you. And then coming in April, I have a gorgeous new picture book from poet laureate Joy Harjo, illustrated by the Pura Belpré award-winning artist Adriana Garcia. For a girl becoming is a welcome to a new baby girl, a benediction of her journey through life, and a celebration of our connections to the people and the world around us. And we have a short video of Joy Harjo introducing the book.
For Girl Becoming is an illustrated poem to carry close to your heart as you make any kind of change or transformation in your life. Coming of age is a potent, powerful, transformative time in your life. And this poem was written specifically to help a young person step through from one state of being to another.
So as you can see, there are some absolutely stunning illustrations. As the girl in the book grows, she is reminded of her connections to the natural world, to her family, her ancestors, her neighbors, to the source of all magic and sorrow, and of her responsibility to uphold and honor these connections. I have already thought of several people that I want to give this to, and I ordered a copy to keep for myself because it's gorgeous. Harjo's poem has long been cherished for its messaging, and Adriana's vibrant, distinctive artwork pulls it all together into a picture book that you just can't miss. Next is We Carry the Sun, which is Newbery medalist Tay Keller's picture book debut. The illustrations by Rachel Wada are radiant, just like the sun. This is a nonfiction picture book about humankind's relationship with our most precious resource. Keller traces the history of solar power from ancient south-facing villages to the industrial age and modern innovators, and from solar-powered steam engines to silicone solar panels. She makes a timely call to action that asks young readers to imagine a brighter, cleaner future. This is a terrific way to start talking to children about natural resources. Leaf's Gift is a charming debut picture book about a kid who is very passionate about houseplants. He loves them so much and takes such good care of them that they grow and take over his whole room. His pet tortoise even gets lost in the houseplants. So Leaf realizes that he can share the love of his plants by propagating them and sharing plantings with neighbors and customers at his parents' cafe. Soon, everyone around him is also able to enjoy the plants, and Leaf can find things in his room again. And there are some pages at the back that show you how to propagate plants and a list of plants that are safe for pets. Nini at Carnival is a reissue of a classic picture book from Errol Lloyd. This is coming from Thames and Hudson. When Nini's friend helps her make a costume for the carnival parade, she has a wonderful time joining in the celebration. The vibrant illustrations show the joy, friendship, and community of Carnival. Tilbury House is publishing Kisses Are Invisible in June. In a big, scary world, Theo is feeling anxious. So his family talks to him about the things that he can count on. Sometimes those things are invisible, like the wind, scent, music, the taste of Grandma's fresh squeezed lemonade, and the feeling that warms his heart when he discovers something special. When he feels worried again, his mother talks to him, tucks him into bed, and blows him a kiss. And he realizes that kisses are invisible too. But the most important invisible thing that he can always count on is the love from his family. This is a comforting story that reminds readers to look for the things they can count on, even if they are invisible. Shipwreck by Deirdre Lade is coming out in August. I had an old pub date on the slide there. So dive below the surface and explore famous and infamous shipwrecks along with the intrepid scientists, divers, and treasure hunters who found the ship's final resting places. From the Titanic to Shackleton's Endurance, this book illuminates the tragedies that brought these ships down, as well as the scientific techniques, dedicated researchers, and lucky breaks that ultimately led to their discoveries. Sidebars filled with facts and robust back matter make this book perfect for curious, adventurous readers. Cheetah's Return to India is a story about animal repopulation and hope in India. The number of cheetahs in India shrunk down to 0 due to hunting and loss of open grasslands. After 70 years, 2 helicopters arrived at Kuno National Park with 8 cheetahs in an attempt to reintroduce cheetahs to India. The story follows Asha and Pavan as they are released into the wild and as they learn how to survive and thrive in their new home. The back matter tells you more about Project Cheetah and the Cheetah Conservation Fund and their work to save the cheetah population. And up next is a new picture book from Edwidge Danticott. Watch Out for Falling Iguanas, illustrated by Rachel Moss, teaches children about iguanas' unique behaviors while celebrating the bonds between generations and the wonders of the natural world. On a cool day in Miami, Leela's grandmother tells her to watch out for the falling iguanas. Confused, Leela and her parents think she must have misheard. But then on the way to school, Leela sees an iguana fall out of a tree. Join Leela, her close friends, and her teacher, Ms. Benoit, on an unexpected adventure as they discover why these tropical creatures fall from trees during cold snaps. When Leela gets home from school, she tells her grandma all about the falling iguanas. This is a delightful tale about family, friendship, and the surprises nature can bring. Moving into fall, Norton Young Readers is publishing A Spoonful of the Sea in September. This is a lovely picture book about the Korean tradition of serving seaweed soup on birthdays and an ode to the powerful bond between mothers and daughters. As a little girl stirs her birthday soup, Her mother tells her how mothers eat it after giving birth and how it is served on birthdays to honor them, about the women who dive into the ocean's depths to harvest shellfish and seaweed, and how many mothers ago a pregnant diver saw a whale eating seaweed after giving birth, so she tried it after having her own baby, creating a tradition that would continue for generations of daughters to come. This is a luminous and heartfelt celebration of motherhood, heritage, and the deep-rooted connection between women and nature. I hope you're all as excited about this as I am. Jarrett and Jerome Pumphrey's stars have been on the rise ever since we published The Old Truck. They received a Caldecott honor for There Was a Party for Langston, and we think there are many more accolades to come for them. The Old Sleigh is the perfect book for the winter. On a cold winter's night, an old sleigh delivers gifts to the neighborhood, firewood for warmth, joyous rides through the snow, presents for loved ones. But as the town takes these gifts, the sleigh is given less care until it breaks. So a family must give it new life, and the town give it new purpose. This enchanting new picture book celebrates family, friendship, and holiday cheer, and shows that the true magic of gifts lies in the giving. When the World is Puddle Wonderful is the first picture book collection of poems by E. E. Cummings, from the showers, puddles, and birdsong of spring to the beaches and sun of summer, Halloween, November sunsets, snowfalls, and the little silent Christmas tree. With Blanca Gomez's sprightly and charming illustrations, When the World is Puddle Wonderful bursts with joy and wonder at the world around us. The poems are fun to read, but they can also be used as an educational tool, since Cummings's deconstruction of form offers a way for children to think about language and expression. And here are a few more of our books coming out in the fall, including a new book by Yuval Zamir called Our Islands, which is a blend of geography, nature, and science with Zamir's trademark whimsical illustrations. The Secret World of Spiderwebs explores how and why spiders build webs and features 14 kinds of webs made from spiders from many different environments around the world. The House with the Little Red Door is a cozy book that talks about what makes a house a home. And Moi Moi, Where Are You is a new high contrast peekaboo board book that is sure to delight and distract your baby. And here's my contact information again with a link to our catalog on Edelweiss. You can see interior illustrations and request digital arcs there, and we'll be adding more DRCs as soon as they become available. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of the week.
Thank you so much, Golda. Next, we will hear from Casey Griffin. Casey is the Senior Marketing Manager at Phoenix International Publications. As the Senior Marketing Manager, her duties include developing marketing plans across imprints, creating monthly newsletters to showcase new and seasonal titles, coordinating with licensors for creative collaborations, and managing Phoenix's participation in industry events. Her favorite part of her job is the ever-changing day-to-day that presents new challenges and opportunities. The floor is yours, Casey.
Hello. So we'll jump right in. Next slide. All right, so our first title is we have the latest book from Sally Ann Garland, which is The Moon Seed. It's a reimagining of one of the seeds that was brought into orbit on the Apollo 14 mission. The seed grows into this great big tree that is ever stretching toward and longing to be closer to the moon again. It has a great message of wonder and also seeing the beauty of being right where you are. Next. So these are some of our other Sally Ann Garland titles that are already available now. Stuck Inside follows Tilly and her dog Toby as they find some imaginative things to create and do while they are stuck inside during a big storm. Nook is small and shy and enjoys watching others play, but she'll discover that she has friends looking out for her. It's a gentle story that explores shyness and sensory needs and inspires kindness, inclusion, and friendship. The Chalk Garden asks, what can you do with a little bit of chalk and a great big idea? Emma uses her imagination to draw a beautiful flower garden with sidewalk chalk, and then watches a real-life ecosystem come to life before her. Next. And then these are two Sally and Garland titles that are coming soon. Heave Ho, a little cub wakes up with a lot of big feelings, so big, in fact, that there isn't any space inside him for anything else. It's a gentle story that shows kids how to self-regulate and finding the space to do so. In Spooky, a family moves into a big old house. It's strange and unfamiliar and just a little bit, well, spooky. They soon discover a black cat is also living there and is just as spooked by them. The story is about life changes and being patient in new situations. Next. This is Random Acts of Cakeness by Vicky Marmaras, illustrated by Isabel Duffy. Arun loves to bake and loves his friends. When any of them are having a bad day, he bakes their favorites to cheer them up. But who will cheer Arun up when he bites off a little bit more than he can chew? His friends, of course. They get together, make a bit of a mess, and cheer Arun right up with all of these sweet treats. Next. So these next two titles are a little bit different than the rest. These are picture books and cookbooks. They have recipes built right into the pages that go along with the story. So the first of the two is Quincy Goes to the Southeast Asian Night Market. Quincy is a real big foodie. In this book, Quincy explores the Southeast Asian night market and learns about some dishes from Indonesia, the Philippines, and Thailand. And then next. And then in this book, they go to the Latin American festival and explore more delicious dishes, but this time they're from Mexico, Nicaragua, and Guatemala. And then next. And so these are how some of the recipes appear in the books. There are also additional recipes to download from our website and additional resources for all of these books as well. I will say, personally, I have made the champaradas off the recipe in this book, and I am a very big fan of them. They were amazing. Next. So this is To Be a Cheetah, written by Joanne C. Hillhouse and illustrated by Xavier Archibald. A child dreams of being fast like a cheetah, running and exploring and winning every race. This is a really sweet, gentle bedtime story, especially for moms who want their little ones to stop growing up so fast. Next. Are We There Yet? Written by Melissa Abraham and illustrated by Simone Douglas. Soretta has so many questions, and as she walks to her Aunt Abby's house with her mother, she only comes up with more. We actually had an awesome interview with Melissa Abraham and learned that the story is actually based on a game her and her youngest her youngest niece used to play with her mom, that they called What Shall We Talk About? This book was actually just featured on Story Den, which is a read-along storytime show in the UK. But it's really sweet. Soretta asks a million questions, and they're all super fun. And they're exactly what little ones will ask on long walks. Next. This is Nail Polish is Two for Boys. This was written by Emma Claire Sunday and illustrated by Caitlin O'Dwyer. What colors shine through when you are just being you? Alex's world is gray until he goes to summer camp and he tries painting his nails. He discovers a world full of color, but what will Dad and Big Brother say? Spoiler alert, Alex's dad Alex's dad just loves being his dad and wants his kids to be happy. It's bright and colorful and really a sweet story about the bond between a parent and their child. Next. A Job for Penelope. Penelope watches her family go to work and school every day, and she wants a job too. She tries a few different things, but none of them are quite the right fit for her. The story really shows that everyone has a job to do and every job is important. Next. So this is the Understanding Me series, written and illustrated by Jeffrey Turner. In both these books come in both English and Spanish and feature a friendly porcupine that describes different experiences in ways that kids can understand and relate to. Next. And so these are the 6 books in that series, both in English and Spanish, as you can see. My Feelings describes a variety of emotions that children and their caregivers can talk about how they feel. My Imagination is our prickly porcupine friend describes a variety of imaginary experiences, inspiring children to think creatively. Like one of the lines is, "When I fly paper airplanes, I imagine I am a pilot flying high above the clouds." And then in My Touch, the porcupine describes a variety of textures, like the snuggly blankets or the fluffy stuffed animals. Next. This is Así Soy Yo, Books About Me. These books are written in both English and Spanish and show readers how they can grow into the best versions of themselves. They include themes of helping, community, determination, and courage. Next. And this is a 4-book series as well. The English and Spanish are both on the same page, so it's written in English first and then in Spanish, so kids can practice both their English and Spanish. And then next. And that's me. That's my contact info and where you can find more information on all of our books. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Casey. Finally, we'll hear from Colette Perry. Colette has worked in marketing at Charlesbridge for 6 years. She was born and raised in Portland, Oregon, and holds a BA in Communications and Music from Simmons University. She lives in the Boston area. Take it away, Colette.
Thank you so much, Kelly, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Let's jump right in with Welcome Home, Esmeralda by Daniela Ramirez with illustrations by one of my favorite artists, Maribel Lechuga. Papa came home today with short notice orders. Esmeralda and her family are moving again, not to Hawaii or Germany or Japan, but back home to San Antonio, Texas. Here's the thing, Esmeralda's never actually been to Texas. Mama and Papa got married there. Her older sister Mariana was born there. All her tias and tios and primos and her beloved abuela are there. But going home means saying goodbye to the home Esmeralda has finally made here, with neighbors and art class and school trips on the train to visit fairy tale castles. In the end, it takes a lot of love and quiet support from Mariana and abuela, and their family's shared love of dancing to help Esmeralda's heart feel at home. Welcome Home, Esmeralda reflects the big feelings that accompany the frequent moves of a military family: sadness, anxiety, and loneliness, as well as the cheerful energy and encompassing warmth of a big family gathering. Let's hear a little more from the author about the experiences she drew on when writing Welcome Home, Esmeralda.
Hi, I'm Daniela Ramirez. I'm the author of Welcome Home, Esmeralda. When I first got the idea for the story, it was a tiny little memory that I had in my head. I was a military kid growing up, and we lived overseas in Germany for 4 years when I was fairly young. And we came back to Texas when I was 6. And I had to be reintroduced to my extended family. And I have a very specific memory of how my grandma was with me in the airport in San Antonio when I came back. And so it stayed with me. I knew that I wanted to build a story around that. And also what I see my own kids going through with my husband's career in the Air Force, with moving, leaving friends behind. I knew I wanted to add that stuff, and I knew I had to fictionalize some other things around it as well. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. Something I wanted to mention here was that Esmeralda's abuela is 100% my abuela. Like, that was something that was really special that I wanted to write into the story. Her honesty, her compassion, to really just celebrate the relationship that I had with her, and to also show how important those relationships can be for kids, and that even if you live far away from your extended family, that it's still possible to build the strength of those relationships and carry them with you.
This big-hearted story of homecoming is on sale May 13th. Next up, we have another stunning storybook, The Aliens Do Not Want to Go Home, written and illustrated by Adam Gustafson. Fans of The Froggies Do Not Want to Sleep will adore this follow-up story about a bunch of alien kids who are having a great time invading Earth. But when the time comes to blast off to their own end of the galaxy, the excuses begin. It simply can't be time to go already. They have to say their goodbyes. They have to put on their shoes. They're in the middle of a complicated game with lots of rules. There's no telling how long it could go on, and it's not even dark out. Every parent who's ever had to break out the tractor beam to peel their kids away from a playdate will laugh their way through this goofy and deeply relatable tale. The Aliens Do Not Want to Go Home is on sale June 3rd. While it won't take you quite as far as Another Planet, Far, Far Away by Molly Beth Griffin with illustrations by Bao Lu is a gorgeous and heartfelt exploration of resilience. Summer means that Rowan and his moms get to go canoe camping, far, far away from their city home, to where the wilderness is really wild. Set in the Boundary Waters canoe area of northeastern Minnesota, this story follows young Rowan as he faces the real challenges and rewards of canoe camping. He starts out excited by the sparkly water and the beautiful green woods. There are so many animals to see: eagles, dragonflies, and loons. But soon, his socks are wet and his bug bites itch. They are far, far away from microwaves, dishwashers, and flush toilets. They even have to put all their food up in a tree because of bears. Yikes. When it all gets to be too much and Rowan just wants to go home, Mom and Mama cheer him up by showing him something amazing they don't have at home. Something that's worth all the hard work they did to go far, far away, where the wilderness is really wild. Far, Far Away is on sale April 29th. For a sweet, simple story about play and mother-daughter bonding, look no further than Catch by Trish Cook, illustrated by Kevin Wilson Max. Mom and Kiona are playing catch, but the ball is too big for Kiona to catch it. They look together for something else to catch, but when they try a berry, it's too small. But practice makes perfect, so they keep trying with different items. Too hard, too soft, too slippery, too fragile. Nothing is quite right. Finally, at bedtime, Mom thinks of the perfect thing for Kiona to catch: a kiss. This frankly adorable book is full of rich sensory detail and a gentle theme of persistence. Kiona and her mom are the perfect stars for a Mother's Day read aloud. Catch is on sale May 6th. And for the Father's Day crowd, we have a genuinely gorgeous import, Picking Tea with Baba by Shu Bin with illustrations by Yu Yin, illustrated by Shan Chen. Baba usually goes alone to his tea garden high up on the mountain, but today the kids get to come with him as a special treat. After a big breakfast and a long hike, they finally make it to the tea garden. From partridges to honeybees to a black snake that Baba scares away, the day is full of surprising and delightful encounters. Picking tea is hard work, but this family makes the long hours fun with folk songs, funny faces, and cool bugs. Lunch even comes with a special treat: raw tea brewed from leaves just picked off the bush. I love that this story captures the fun of an outdoor excursion, but also something more complex, a child's feeling of joy and accomplishment from doing a hard job together with their family. Picking Tea with Baba is on sale May 6th. We'll lead off our nonfiction section with a new title, Perfect for Earth Day, from Ruth Spiro, author of the best-selling Baby Loves Science series. How to Explain Climate Science to a Grown-Up with Vibrant and Playful Illustrations by Teresa Martinez is the third book in her new How to Explain Science to a Grown-Up series, celebrating kids' natural curiosity and empowering young scientists to explain their favorite topic to any grown-up who will listen. In classic Ruth Spiro fashion, this story starts out grounded in a child's experiences. The cherry tree in Grandpa's backyard blooms every year around this kid's birthday, but the tree has started blooming earlier and earlier each year. Why? Because the planet is getting warmer. Our protagonist explains to Grandpa that climate and weather are two different things. They talk together about greenhouse gases, how we can help the Earth, and how scientists even know that climate change is happening. Climate science still features the fun and sassy humor of the other two titles in this series, but it also gently addresses climate anxiety. When the kid and their grandpa walk past a fishing pier that was damaged by a climate change-fueled storm, they stop in the shade for a water break and reassure each other that though climate change and its consequences can be scary, they will always help keep each other safe. Back Matter provides helpful action tips and a glossary of scientific terms. Let's advance to the next slide, please. Thank you. How to Explain Climate Science to a Grown-Up is on sale now. And for a nuts and bolts look at what people are doing today to fight one effect of climate change, we have Turtles Heading Home by Liza Ketchum, Jacqueline Briggs Martin, and Phyllis Root. The waters around Cape Cod used to cool off gradually, signaling to the sea turtles that it was time to swim south. But now the water stays warm for too long and cools off too quickly, which sends the turtles into shock and makes them too cold to migrate. This amazing photo-illustrated saga follows the efforts of conservationists as they rescue the turtles, nurse them back to health, and release them into warmer waters. The operation involves hundreds of people, volunteers on beach patrol, veterinarians, and pilots who fly the turtles south. All of them work together to help save the Kemp's Ridley sea turtle, the most endangered sea turtle in the world. Back Matter includes more information about turtles, the rescue operation, and ways that kids can help. Turtles Heading Home is on sale July 15th. In 1899, a woman scoops a jellyfish out of the water off the coast of Ireland and changes the course of marine biology. Her story is told in Jellyfish Scientist, Maud DeLapp and Her Mesmerizing Medusas by Michelle Cusolito with illustrations by Ellen Rooney. Now, before Maud DeLapp, nobody really understood the life cycle of a jellyfish. Nobody had ever raised one in captivity, but Maud did what nobody else had done. She spent more than a year carefully nurturing her captive jellyfish as it released planulae larvae, which transformed into polyps, budded into ephrae, and eventually matured into fully grown medusas. A self-educated scientist, Maud's accomplishments were recognized in her day by the Linnaean Society and the Plymouth Marine Biological Station. Though her name is not widely known, modern marine biologists stand on her shoulders. Her meticulous observations of a compass jellyfish in 1899 and 1900 laid the foundation for research still ongoing today. Maud's groundbreaking story as a woman in STEM is a testament to curiosity, patience, and persistence. Illustrator Ellen Rooney combined historical research, census records, and aquarium visits to bring this story to life with warm, detail-packed illustrations. Back Matter includes more information about jellyfish and Maud's life and work. Jellyfish Scientist, Maud DeLapp and Her Mesmerizing Medusas is on sale April 22nd. And now that we've thoroughly explored the ocean, let's take a look on land with Not a Dog by Claudia Guadalupe Martinez, illustrated by Laura Gonzalez. Not a Bean brought you a fresh look at the Mexican jumping bean, and Not a Monster delved into the life cycle of the axolotl. Now, Not a Dog takes us into the burrows of the adorable Mexican prairie dog, the Perito Llanero. This endangered rodent lives in a remarkable colony structure. As we follow a prairie dog pup from birth to adulthood, a clever shapes concept and Spanish vocabulary add depth to this life cycle story. But there's one more layer. A visiting group of school children learns about the key role the Perito Llanero plays in the grassland ecosystems of central Mexico. Their colonies feed and shelter dozens of species. Farmers and ranchers consider them pests, but without the prairie dogs to maintain balance, there would be no prairie. With advocacy and conservation easements, there's hope for the prairie and the prairie dogs. Not a Dog, simultaneously available in Spanish and in English with Spanish vocabulary, is on sale June 17th. And the Animal World fun is not over yet. Born Inside a Nest So Small by Isa Trapani brings poetry and ornithology together for the youngest readers. A curious child encounters a hummingbird and marvels at its bright colors and darting movements. Poetic main text celebrates the beauty of hummingbirds, while sidebars give exciting hummingbird facts. We also get to follow this tiny bird as it embarks on an astonishing solo journey south for the winter. Long days and thousands of miles will take it to Mexico, while our child narrator hopes that they will meet again next year. Born Inside a Nest So Small is on sale June 10th. More epic journeys await in The Treasure Hunt by Lisa Stewart Sharp with illustrations by Gordy Wright. Following a trail of intriguing clues, discover heart-stopping true stories of treasure lost, stolen, and found. From Queen Nefertiti's mummy to the jewels of the Titanic and the lost hoards of the Vikings, these adventures will amaze and delight. From Scotland to Indonesia and Colombia to Madagascar, kids will love this engaging and interactive book, full of maps to read, codes to crack, and puzzles to solve. The Treasure Hunt is on sale June 10th, and we'll take a world tour of a different kind with Zero, The Number That Almost Wasn't, by Sarah Albee and illustrated by Chris Hsu. This playful picture book traces the elusive history of zero, the fundamental concept of a symbol for nothing, which forms the backbone of modern math. Place value and other conceptions of zero were created, forgotten, created, destroyed, created, abandoned, and created again in many cultures across the globe and throughout time. And the most recent origin of zero might surprise you. A riveting testament to the many forces that shape math and the ways that math in turn shapes our world. Zero, The Number That Almost Wasn't, is on sale now. We'll wrap up today with a new installment in the All About Noticing series by Elizabeth Rush, illustrated by Elizabeth Goss. All About Patterns explores patterns in art and in daily life. Now, patterns are all around us. Patterns in nature determine how things grow. Patterns decorate our clothes and homes. There's even a pattern in your day that helps you plan for what's next. When the pattern changes, it can create uncertainty, but it can also create new opportunities to grow and discover a new pattern. These cut paper illustrations by Elizabeth Goss are so incredible, and they really bring home the series theme of examining how art and design principles, like color or negative space, affect so much more of our lives than just art. All About Patterns is on sale April 29th. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at cperry@charlesbridge.com. Digital galleys, downloadables, bonus videos, and more are available on our website at charlesbridge.com/pbwebinar. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Colette, and a big thank you to all of today's presenters. So tomorrow, all attendees will receive an email containing links to today's slide presentation, title list, certificate of completion, and video recording. For more about Booklist webinars, be sure to visit booklistonline.com/webinars, where you can view archives of past webinars and register for upcoming ones, like those you see here. We are thrilled to announce that the digital version of Booklist Reader, the monthly reader's advisory magazine from the editors of Booklist, is now an ALA member benefit. Head over to our new and updated site to start reading. And if you're not already a Booklist subscriber, you'll use your ALA membership ID to sign in. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. One more huge thank you to our panelists and to our sponsors, Gnome Road Publishing, Norton and Co, Phoenix International Publications, and Charlesbridge. This concludes today's webinar. See you next time.